on over to the lane. First, I didn't think I had nothing, y'all, but I actually do. So I can't adjust this now. I was having a conversation about the remote thing. Now at work, what they were saying, and I don't know why I cold word so damn much. Maybe because I always think, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just kind of used to that. But I was having a discussion at work where they were talking about remote things, you know, in office and everything. And to my knowledge is they built the infrastructure to where people would not have to come back into the office at all. And turns out this whole force to put people back in and on site, they don't have enough seats. So you're not going to see people every day if they have to be at work. And then not only that, if it's going to be, it's not assigned seats. So you're going to have to like choose seats and do stuff like that. So now my little work area, somebody's going to have to take that seat. So I'm going to have to kind of keep all my stuff in another room, which is okay with me. Now, the social political side of it, I'm definitely not looking forward to it. I don't want more people by my desk, more people coming up. I'm just not, I'm friendly to a certain degree, but you know, I'm a little standoffish with my personal space because there's really not much reason for you to be real close to me if you ain't talking to me. You know, if you're talking to me, then that's one thing. And you know, I told y'all about the whole thing with lunch and things of that nature. Now, I don't know what these bikers are gonna do, but they kind of, I don't know. No, I think they good. So what I figured was this. What they'll probably start having people do is they'll have them come back in the office. When they come back in the office, they're gonna realize ain't no room. Senior leadership and the executives have made a very, very bad mistake. And then now you're going into the season where people start getting sick, and a lot of folks is going to be taking PTO because you're not too far from the holidays anyway. So there's really no point for that. What they were trying to do is they say that work autonomy kind of thing. And now if you're in senior leadership or if you're in management, yeah, that might make sense for you if you need to talk to movers and shakers, because sometimes I see people moving and shaking and talking to people, and I'm referring to like key points of, I mean, something you got to know right now. You might need to have a discussion outside of Microsoft Teams. Now, as I was telling some of the young folks, now if you could get something remote, fine. Now, one thing that somebody told me is you can't get a promotion if you're not on site. That's not true, because there's a lot of remote first companies out there, and I've seen people when I was doing some DevOps work, they got a promotion. They stay in Texas. They never come to Minnesota. So, you know, this dude that was trying to tell me this, and that was the one guy that I was having that conversation with. But that's a false statement. Number one, he doesn't really know about the IT industry. He's just going off of maybe a lot of business places where you're just not going to get a promotion because now, depending on what role you are. But here's another thing. I told y'all about how folks was belly aching about this one guy not coming into the office. He can do everything he needs to do out of the office, but they're just mad because they got to come into the office. And the thing is, they want him to come into the office, but he's getting ready to be in a leadership position. So now they're saying all this stuff about him not coming to the office. I'm overhearing it. They're not going to him. That's what I was telling y'all about passive aggressive Minnesota. They're not going to him about the issue. And I've heard the issue several times. Now, would they bring that up to him? They probably would, but he's moving himself towards a position of power where he don't really, in a minute, they can't even really chastise him about that because he's pivoting his career. And the brother basically got it to a situation to where, he doesn't have to come into the office at all. He comes in maybe once a week, if that. So he has different tasks that he has to do. He's not doing the tasks that everybody else is doing. So, I kind of thought about some of my duties when it comes to like iMac. Most of the stuff outside of deployment, I can do remotely. I could do things remotely. So I'm always having, who always saying, well, what's going on? I'm doing the same thing that I've been doing. I'm not going to be doing any more than what I've already been doing. So there's not really no reasons for you to be asking about what's going on. I've already laid out my platform, and this is what I do. Right in the and this is what y'all could do with micromanagement too. If if you're already working and somebody keeps asking you what you're doing, just put it in Teams or put it in WebEx or whatever tool they use, or Slack, and put it right in the there's a status level, and then start blocking out your Outlook time. So they're being passive aggressive with you, so you just come back with them. That's not our nature. That's not our style. Passive aggressive is like kind of catty. I'm just gonna flat out say it. It's almost like some hoe shit. I just gotta say it that way. It's almost like some hoe shit. It's like, so when grown men are doing that, and women, if women do it, you be like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You might say that's catty. But when grown men do that stuff, you kind of be like, that's some hoe shit. I'm just gonna be flat out honest. But what you could do, the way you combat that, is you could hit them with the status level and then start blocking out your Outlook time. And then when they ask you again, say, hey, I blocked out my Outlook time on what I'm going to be working on, even if you ain't working on it. Even if you ain't working on it. Because what they'll try to do, and see, keep in mind, a lot of times when people do this to you, they don't be doing shit. They don't really be doing shit. So back to project vendor management. That's something, project coordination. They always need people to coordinate projects and stuff. You're not really going to be doing too much but talking to the vendors and managing vendor relationships. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm speaking from the position that I'm working in, now I'm taking more so of the vendor management. Now, that's basically me just reaching out to people and setting things up to where other people are going to be doing the work. That's the role that I signed up for. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And remember, it was supposed to be a hybrid situation. Now, going back to that, coming back into office, that hybrid thing doesn't really, if it's 1 day a week, I'm not working 1 day a week as it is anyway, working on these projects. So, and then my commute, it takes so long to where it's not really worth me just doing a half day in office. It's better all just doing remote. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of times when I reach out to people to make sure they have their machines and all that, they're always trying to avoid getting it. So to a certain degree, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to communications. If I'm assigned a ticket, it would make the most sense for everybody to make one big day or 2 big days where people just line up and then they get all their machines, and I'm doing it back to back. So that's something that I think I'm going to start doing to combat, well, what's going on, this, that, and the third. I only have this amount of work that's assigned. So instead of giving me more projects, they're not doing that either. So that's why I said it's time to start looking when they start doing these kind of things. But one key skill set I'm going to give y'all about vendor relationship management. If you're working at a data center, if you're doing any of that kind of stuff, if you're talking to a vendor, now a vendor could be anything. A vendor could be somebody that's installing the computers. A vendor could be somebody that's giving you mail. That's a vendor. UPS, anybody that's a third party to the company is a vendor. So put that on your resume. Put vendor relationship management. All you're doing is just talking to people and getting people to get on the ball. A lot of the times it's going to be things that you can't do anything about. You might have some guy that shows up late. You might have to reach out to the vendor, get another resource. Then you need to call one of the managers at the site. You might participate in information with site surveys. That's another thing you need to put on your resume. If you go on a site and you basically just take inventory of what's going on, that's called a site survey. Put that on your resume. That's a skill set. All those little key words. Remember, when they have these jobs, they're always talking about, they use big ambiguous words, long list. And most of that stuff is a bunch of BS. You're not going to be doing it. And they repeat it 3 to 4 different times. So when you're talking to some of these folks, especially recruiters, you might get sold thinking you're going to be doing this, that, and third. And they make this long laundry list. And then you start kind of backing up like, I don't think I want to do that. And you might be passing up on something because you think they're going to be overworking you because they have this long laundry list to a certain degree. When I came aboard, it said help desk. I'm not doing no help desk, but the people I'm around is damn near like a help desk. So the micromanagement activity and the psychology is at a higher level than the people that's in the app teams and the DevOps. Those folks are working with a lot of automated things and code and stuff like that. So you're not going to have so many people that's breathing on their shoulder because it's not based on a task. It's based on a solution. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's based on a solution. I got to say one more time, like Brother Umar, it's based on a solution. You're going to be sitting up there coming up with ways to make process improvement and to make things better. So you're not going to be just doing just one-off task and then somebody coming to you asking you about another thing. That's why I always say, if you could avoid it, don't stick around too much in desktop support. Now, sysadmin is basically a magnified, it's the Magneto of desktop support. But don't stick around too much in desktop support because you're dealing with too much low-level shit. That's what I'm trying to say. You're dealing with way too much and the low-level thinking people. Now, here's what I mean by that. It's not that you're any better than them. What it is you're dealing with a bunch of stupid shit all the time. You're dealing with people that can't understand basic things. So they want you to do it for them. When you go above that level, you're not dealing with people like that. You're dealing with other people that are forward thinkers. When you have somebody that's coming to you and they say, all right, you got to set an appointment. And that's the rule. And if they respond talking about, well, why? And this, that, and the third, you're going to have a problem with them. You're going to run into a lot of people like that. You're going to run into a lot of people in that desktop support arena. Help desk, you want to get out of that. You want to start and don't stay in it no more than 6 months to 12 months if you can, and get some of your cloud certs or you know, if you could get iMac, remote iMac project coordination or something like that. You want to start getting into different things to where you could get away from that. Because I'm telling you, when you're around that desktop environment, a lot of people going to be walking up to you while you're at lunch, harassing you. They're going to be demanding. They're going to act like you ain't nothing. They're going to be coming up to you as if you're not doing them a damn favor and they don't know shit. That's what they'll typically do. And you're going to be amongst, most time when you're around help desk and desktop, you go, you know, and I've seen it mainly for the dudes, not so much as just the women. The women might do it too, but mainly in the dudes. You're going to be around a bunch of chatty patty dudes. They're going to be belly aching about politics. They're going to be talking about mindless dumb shit like video games all the damn time. They're not really going to be, you're going to be around people. You're going to be around a lot of people. And I've seen this before. When you hear some of these guys talk, a lot of the talk is going to come from a place of immaturity. They're going to be talking about cartoons all the time and all kind of stuff like that. And you're looking like, okay, how old is this dude? You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear about a lot of stuff like that, like a little 4chan people and all that. Those kind of folks. If you get in a group like that, you're going to be miserable. So you want to kind of get towards the folks that they keeping their head down and got their headphones on and they working, and if somebody disturbs them, hey, how can I help you? because they working, they're doing software updates. You want to kind of get into that. Those roles a lot of times tend to be more remote. A lot of companies are pushing for you to be in, but anytime you on the phone a long time, or somebody got to walk up to you, they're trying to put those folks back in the office because of the experience. So now you're playing office politics again. And like I was talking to this brother the other day. We had a long conversation. He wanted me to help find him something. I said, if you got business analysts, and he says, I'm mostly remote. Man, if you're remote already, bro, try to double up. I look back at that TCS contract and I said, now, if somebody's paying 50 to 70 an hour, go ahead and go in office. Because that $120,000 to $130,000, you could say that the office politics, charge that to the game. You 100 plus now. Just charge that to the game. You could go in office and deal with that BS for 130, brothers and sisters. You could deal with that. You can deal with that. And then once you level up your skill set, you find something that's hybrid or whatever like that. Because here's the thing, this in-office thing, it's not going to work long term. I'm telling y'all that. It's not going to work long term unless they're larger real estate offices and stuff. It's probably going to be another pandemic that they cook up somewhere or whatever. You going to hear politicians push for this. Come get your jab, whatever. And folks going to go home again. It's coming. It's coming. They're going to send people home again at some point in time. It's going to come. It's bound to come. So now, here's the thing. While you're in office, make some of those contacts to people that could get you in other positions. Start talking to people in developers, so you could get some of the game. Hey, what's this Python script about? Start asking questions. Get into the question mode. So like I said, you might have to go back in. I told the brother, I said, look, if you're already remote and you're under a business analyst, if that's your skill set, I asked him, what do you know about Agile? Because when I looked at his resume, it didn't speak in variety to a business analysis position. So he just got to get the wording together. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to look at brother chat and I'm going to say, hey, put this on your resume, bro. Just change the words. These folks like to hear variety. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes hearing the same thing. People like expansive vocabulary. It sounds cool. It's dynamic. It ain't static. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to use brother chat. Like I said, I'm no longer using all these funny. No, brother chat doing all this for me from now on. The hell with this. I'm not putting up my brain power. Nope, brother chat. Make it sound good. Literally. I'm going to make his business analysis resume look good. I'm going to send it back to him. And then I'm going to say, all right, keep Scrum, Agile, use some of these keywords, and it's going to look good. And matter of fact, I'm about to do that right now. And I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to put that on the front cover so y'all can see what brother chat did, for his resume. And I told him, you should just stay remote, try to find you another gig. You know what I'm saying? He said he wanted to do tech support. I said, that's going to put you back in the lion's den. Now, I know I previously gave him advice on just going back in. But I said, if this is a TCS role, how much you make an hour? I'm making 25. I said, oh, hell no, nigga. Stay remote. Don't come back in here. Because you come back in here, it's going to be these lions, hyenas. They're going to be coming up to you. They're going to not be watching their hands. We know the deal, how these folks get down. Man, listen, stay remote, double up. Do your thing. We'll find you another business analyst role. And if you really, really want to get into tech support, you might be able to find something remote. But a lot of times, man, they really trying to pay people 16, 17 an hour. You're going to pay less. You're better off where you're at. Just hold tight until you find something to your liking. You're in a position of power right now. You already have a job. You're already remote. You ain't really got to come in office like that. Stay where you at. I know, bro, 25 an hour, it's not the middle class. The new middle class is 100. Minimum wage is 100K. That's the new middle class. The minimum right now you need is 100. I get it. We gonna get you there. Just hold fast. We gonna get you there. I guarantee you I'm gonna get you there. Everybody that I told I'm gonna get them there has got there. They have arrived. We shall overcome. They have overcome. Everybody that I said, I'm going to get you this position and you're going to make this amount. There's not one person that has not done so. Not one. My books and the stuff that I've done is a trial of testament. It ain't pseudoscience. It ain't nigga reparation Mars babble. There's not one person that has not read my shit and has not got work. Not one. Anybody that calls me a liar, show me you didn't get it. So this works. Hold fast. Yeah, don't go back in the lines then yet. Just hold fast, just a little bit. I'm gonna get you 35 to 45 an hour. Just hold fast. Just hold just a little bit. Just hold just a little bit. Y'all still consider your trades and everything, but just hold fast. Don't leave that remote for 25. Because you go back in the lines, then they're going to want to overwork you. And they're not going to want to, they're going to play around with your PTO and all that because they're going to be sick. They ain't going to be washing their hands. Just hold fast. I got y'all.